for desperate measures against all these crimes. Our home is ablaze. If we saw this from the moon, we'd be amazed. We are fools, oh, how selfish and vain. If we close our eyes, we will not see the flames. So much we need, so I guess we're gonna die out of our greed. Erase my insincerity. Erase my insecurity. We're bringing it down. I'm calling it so weak. We're stomping on the ground. We make our own beat. No more lies. No more lies. No more lies. You know life.
Good evening, watchmen and watchwomen. So I hope Lizette doesn't kick my ass for that, but yeah, first show of the new year. Yeah, so hopefully she doesn't kick my ass for that. I'm going to put, after the show's over, I'm going to put the link to that video in the description. The channel is Lizette, and... So it's Lizette, and the and sign is the name of the channel. And that song was called No More Lies. Anyway, I fell in love with that song the first time I heard it. And, man, yeah, that's my kind of music. So, anyway, I'm actually out of breath. I was kind of jamming. Man. So, anyway... pardon me, been kind of a busy weekend for us, so got a lot of got a lot of things accomplished, and picked up a new website account, website client, so that's definitely awesome. And yeah, just been doing the things. So man, trying to think of if there's really any ground-shaking updates from us. I don't know. Really don't know of anything offhand. That was pretty much the biggest thing that's happened over the last couple of days, was picking up a new website client. Other than that, just still kind of getting everything fine-tuned and into place and all that good stuff. So can't think of anything. I did keep a very close eye on the news. I was very concerned. I honestly thought, seriously, and I was going to go to bed, and I wound up staying up, not really on purpose. I wasn't really tired, and I think it was because I was nervous. And so I did stay up, and I don't think we stayed up for our particular New Year, did we? I think we were in bed by our New Year. Oh, we were. Okay. Anyway, I pulled up New York on YouTube and was watching it. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I kind of really thought that the screen was going to go white and black. Honestly, that's the feeling that I had in my gut. And you could have probably told it from the last show. And I mean, I felt it in every bone in my body, and it was not a good feeling. And yeah, it really shook me, because we're there, folks. We're at that time. And, you know, even the good book says no man knows the day or the hour. That includes me. So all I can do is take whatever cues I can find and try to assess the situation and come up with best and worst case scenarios. Well, like I say, we're not in a good time. And I am actually shocked major things have not happened as of yet. There has been a couple of things happen that I found very interesting. I had heard a report. I have not personally confirmed this myself, but I had heard a report that the United States kind of backed off a little bit over there in, I guess, the Persian Gulf. I heard reports that the U.S. kind of backed off a little bit, which I commend if that is the case. Man, no, we do not want war anywhere with anyone. We've got too much stuff right here in the United States that we need to take care of. We ain't got no business trying to take care of anything anywhere else, including gender studies in Pakistan. But guess what? You paid for it. So, it's ridiculous. It is that ridiculous. And what did you get? As an individual, $600. Did that help? I mean, don't misunderstand me. I know it did. But in the whole big scheme of things, did it help? Hell no. And I'm not saying that we need some type of universal income or some type. No. But damn it, the people of the United States of America need a bailout. The banks had done have a bailout. Now all big businesses had a bailout with Amazon and, all of that. They've all had their big bailouts. Don't you think it's your turn? You paid for them bailouts. That's coming out of, not really your pocket. It's going to be your kids and your all the way down to your great grandkids. They're the ones that are paying this. This is why I was upset over a decade ago. I wasn't here, I know, but over a decade ago, I was screaming about this stuff. Because it was happening then, too. It's just now more people are paying attention. Grab your cup of coffee. I'm telling you. For a lot of people, there's a whole hell of a lot of waking up to do. And guess what? It's a pop quiz because we ain't got much time. I'm concerned and I'm relieved immensely. I'm immensely relieved that Friday night my fear didn't happen. Every one of us could use a little bit more time. That's a fact. Every one of us could use a little bit more time. While I think that In short term, Jen and I would be fine. No sweat. Long term, if it was a situation to where it was just us, nah, we don't have supplies for long term. Not saying can't make it work, but we don't have like supplies on hand for long term. Yeah, a little bit of time and a lot of money, and we could get there. But it is what it is. And like I tell all of you, don't let anything like that discourage you. Do what you can when you can, right? I'm looking at possibly getting a deal of $99.99, like six number 10 cans. Trying to think of the name of the company. But anyway, it's a beef stroganoff mix. I think it's Nutri something, not Nutrisystem or nothing, but I can't remember the brand. It's on Amazon. And anyway, that seems like a pretty damn good deal. So I'm thinking about maybe getting some of that, and that'd help out a little bit. But do what you can when you can, you know? And there's been a lot of channels, like especially over the past 2 days, that have been talking about, man, the whole gambit, and that is a good thing. I'm really glad to see all of that activity, but I think Alaska Prepper did a video on what, the best ways to spend that $600. Pardon me. And I know a lot of other channels did too. That is incredible. Was it Southern Prepper? He did a video on just today, assault gear. And yeah, that's awesome. Not that I'm saying the idea of having to need assault gear is awesome. What I'm saying is it's a really good idea for all of us. And this is why I started a while back. We're starting at the basic. And I did the Prepper Priority videos, right? Which, by the way, over the weekend I did put them in the playlist. So anyway, so that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of these channels do that very thing. They're going back. They're going back to the very base. And in fact, I believe it was Southern Prepper 1 that had said, I think he's got a 1. Anyway, I believe it was him that had said that he is seeing a whole lot of new people on his channel. And that is his reasoning for doing it. And I'm sure the same thing is true across the board. But do not get discouraged. I don't care how little you have to spend. Put that chin up and do what you can. Plain and simple. Put that chin up and do what you can. That means a little bag of rice. If that means a 1 pound bag of beans, whatever. Put it in the cart, put a smile on your face, put the chin up, and be proud. Do what you can. Hey, I'm not set up. You know what I mean? I ain't got, the all kinds of plate carriers and, my my choice of assault bags and, yeah, I don't even have an assault pack. How's that? I've got a bug out bag, but I don't have an assault pack. Now, in all fairness and honesty, I do have a backpack that I am working on for an assault pack, in all fairness and honesty. But it's an extra backpack that we had, and everything that's going in it is extras that we had. And when I say assault pack, it's not really an assault pack. It's a very, very, it's a bug out bag light is what it is. It's a bug out bag light. So, because my bug out bag is set up for more than a day. I'll say that. And yeah, I'm one of those guys that probably have a bug out bag that weighs too much. Not really. I can handle it, and I'm saying I can handle it, Mr. COPD. I mean, I ain't running anyway, folks. It doesn't matter whether I got a pack on or not. I ain't running because I can't breathe, my COPD. But I can throw that. I can walk, and I can carry that pack on my back. I've tried it. And now, if I encounter a steep hill, it's going to take me time. But guess what? Does anybody expect me to throw Jen on my back and run anyway? It's going to take her time too. So that's the reason why, going back to the basics, let me mention this again, okay? Because this is a very basic, this is something, folks, if you're new to prepping, listen to me on this, please. Do not let somebody else prep for you. Okay, and what I mean by that, let me explain. It's fine to watch all these videos on bug out bags and all this, that, and the other thing. Nothing wrong with that at all. I encourage it highly. But don't copy. Don't copy. You take all those ideas from all those videos of all those bags you've watched. You think about your personal situation. You think about everything to do with your personal situation. How long you need your pack for? Are there any particular specialty items? You know, when I say that, it can be anything from medications to, you know what I mean? But those things need to be in your bug out bag. Okay? So you can't follow X channel to the T if they didn't put, you know, your medication or, you know, medications in their bag. So you didn't put your medications in your bag because they didn't have it in their bag. You see where I'm going with that? Don't set yourself up for that. Every one of our situations is different, and we have to treat it as such. We have to approach it as such. So, you know, that is one of the very core things you need to understand, because especially now, you know, I myself have done this, and I've watched many other people do this. Almost every single one of us does this. We waste money in the beginning because we just simply don't know. And so we buy things that really are subpar. We don't know. We don't know. And, or maybe not even subpar, but just not as good a deal as what you could have got. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of good information out there. There's a lot of bad information out there. And I really got no real good answers to tell you on how to weed through what is what. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, don't listen to that channel or that channel or that channel, except for maybe Canadian Prepper. But seriously, don't. Because that cat, no. It's not The Walking Dead, folks. This isn't a TV show. Now, watching the clowns in our government might seem like a really, you know, bad B-rated movie. You know, yeah, reality is not a TV show. And if you're going to approach what we're facing like you would the zombie apocalypse in The Walking Dead, you are going to be not so Walking Dead. So, just is what it is. You know, and whatever. I mean, I don't get it. I don't, but I guess I'm cut from a little different cloth. I don't get the fascination, because let's face it, I mean, is he the biggest prepper channel? He might be close. If not, he might be close. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see I don't see it. But you have to do whatever works for your particular situation. And please remember that. Please remember that. If you've got anything that you need to help you out, I'll mention feet. If there's anything that you need for your feet, or think you might need, or even possibly maybe think you might need for your feet, get it immediately. Get it in your bug out bag. You have to take care of your feet. Get good socks. Make sure you've got good shoes. If you need any type of insole or anything, make sure you take care of your feet. Because without your feet, you're fucked. Pardon the language. But, hey, it kind of sounded good. It's true, though. It's true. And when I say that, if you're someone that aren't fortunate enough to be able to use their feet, understand you're not out of the game. You're not out of the game, all right? Jen here walks with crutches, and I joke about it from time to time here and stuff like that. But that's the reality of it. And I can't do the things that a large majority of people can do. So physically. So it is what it is. You have to prepare around that. It does put somebody in a compromised position initially. But remember what I said about keeping that chin up. There's a reason why you keep that chin up, because, damn it, where there's a will, there's a way. And I assure you, where there is a will, there is a way. Work it out. Don't get upset. Don't let it eat you. Just take a good, honest look at your situation and figure it out. I don't think we have a whole long time before whatever's going to kicks off. And one of the things that I had thought about, because I really have been running this through my mind over the weekend, one of the things that I had thought might be delaying it is because every time you think, there's no more, there's just nothing more Trump can do, he comes off with something else. And, these things that he's coming off with, he can do. They're legal arguments. They're legal things, right? I'll tell you what, that old saying, the fat lady, hasn't sang yet. Now I don't know that he'd be able to pull this off. Again, I have no idea what's going to unfold. No earthly idea. As you know, there are a bunch of members coming forward and saying they're going to, I forget the exact word, but, more or less reject this electoral count. And I don't know. None of us do, really. None of us do. And then, of course, you've got this huge rally in Washington, D.C. on the 6th. That could go anywhere in a hurry. We just don't know. And I like I said, I've been questioning as to whether or not nothing on a more international scale has happened yet, because Trump keeps getting more chances. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting. I've been intrigued because on a number of occasions I have seen Trump pull away from military conflict. And on a number of occasions, and I'm telling you, that was impressive to me. That spoke to me. There is things that Trump did that really spoke to me. And when he pulled away from military action, that was one of the things that spoke to me in a big, big way. That's something, to be quite frank, I don't think I'd seen before. Imagine that. And then his smacking Big Pharma upside the head, but then turned around though. Did he look at the now situation? He did smack Big Pharma, but he also gave him a gold mine. Hell with that, a diamond mine. So, you have to consider that too. I don't know where we're heading. I'm not quite sure how fast we're going to get there. But I can tell you from whether it's a common sense standpoint, whether it's a biblical standpoint, it ain't going to get any better. And I'm not just, oh, doom. If you read the book, you would know. The book says eyes to see and ears to hear. There are plenty of us that are seeing and hearing. Plenty of us that are seeing and hearing. Just look around. And that's, that's why we have been striding towards spiritual growth. And look. I mean, we are constantly blessed. Constantly blessed. Don't forget that prepping. I don't talk about it a whole lot, but don't forget about that prepping. Can't think of really a whole... I've got a lot of headlines to read. Yeah, I know that. Because I will be going back and starting with the headlines from Friday, and then, of course, yesterday's, today's. Because there's been a whole lot, as you can imagine, as you've seen. But I'm sure we probably, if you haven't seen our headlines on Twitter, there's probably quite a few you hadn't heard of yet. A lot of stuff gets buried, especially if you just watch pretty much the news from the U.S. Yeah, you're not even getting near half of it. So, and events that happen around the world most definitely affect us here. Like Brexit situation, for example. Of course, that's got its effects on us. I don't think that has a huge effect on us, but it indeed has an effect. But there are many other things that do have huge effects on us that involve other nations and other nations. In other words, no problem with us, but because there's problems between those two nations, we take a hit too. But usually we're the ones doing that. So, kind of the way it is. In fact, I forget what kind. It's in the headlines, but yeah, there's some companies that are shying away from the Nord Stream 2 project because of fear of the U.S. sanctions. So, man, I just think that's wrong. That's wrong, man. We're supposed to have, get this, right? We're supposed to have, and they lie and tell you we have, free capitalism in this country. And man, I'll tell you what, we haven't seen free capitalism in this country since, well before the damn 1930s. Right? I mean, let's be honest. Not true free capitalism. And so that's what's frustrating to me is we don't have free capitalism here in the United States of America, where we're lied to and told we have free capitalism. And, can your kids go out in the front yard and sell lemonade? I mean, can most kids go out in their front yard? Let's ask that. Can most kids go out in their front yard and sell lemonade? Even pre-COVID-19? Even pre-COVID? No, absolutely not. Right? They'd get a visit from the health department, or they'd get a visit from somebody with the city. Absolutely not. And, sorry, your kid can't sell lemonade in the front yard. Yeah, not free. So they're taxing yard sales and making people get permits for yard sales. And I mean, it's ridiculous. So anyway, we don't have free capitalism. And we are trying to take that away from other countries as well. That's insane. That is insane. Nobody should be in control of anybody's economy. Period. You know, how do Jeff Bezos's get big as Jeff Bezos's? Yeah, I know. How? Man, it's not a fair shot. Not even close. Not even close. I don't know. I don't know when things will ever turn around, meaning fresh start. But man, I'll tell you what, it's going to be a rough slide down. And that's where we're at. I think we just hit that apex. We'll see. That's all we can do anyway. That's all we can do anyway. All right, let me throw my glasses here. Have a sip. I'm still even finishing up my coffee, believe it or not. I ain't got much left. Not from this morning, let me say that. No. I forget what time I brewed it, but no, it's this evening. Oh, yeah, Jen said somewhere around 7 or so. Anywho. Man, oh man, oh man. Alright, let me run through the normal stuff real quick, and then we'll just jump into headlines and start running, because there's a lot. I guess I could have a vape or two. I think I shall. One moment. Oh. Didn't even fly that much either. So that kind of sucked. I went to fly with the guys, and I didn't. I wasn't in there very long. They were in the, for one, they were in the what is it, the VL3, I think it is. I wanted to be in a bush plane, so I'll just catch up with them next weekend, and hopefully they've got a bush plane trip. There's not a lot of people that really like to fly, that fly in the group that really like to fly anything other than bush planes. So usually if there's a flight, one weekend that's not a bush plane, yeah, it's going to be bush planes for probably a few weekends. So anyway, I'll catch up with them Saturday and hopefully get a good bush plane flight in with them. I enjoy them because the bush plane flights, they're usually like river runs, and so we'll get down into the, right above the river, and through the trees and stuff. It's a blast. It's a blast. Anyway, yep, I could use a good flight of that. Usually their flights last about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So it's a good flight, and it's all, there's no autopilot. All right, anyway, let's run through this real quick. Amazon affiliate, we have goose eggs right now because it's beginning of the month. So anyway, I appreciate those that used our link last month. That was awesome. It was over $40 that we wound up with at the end of the month. So that's awesome. Thank you. For those that don't know, in the description of our video, there is a link. It is our Amazon affiliate link. If you click that link to go to Amazon when you do your shopping, Your items, they don't cost you anything more, but it'll give us a commission for the sale. And all those little commissions add up at the end of the month. It's a great way to support the show that doesn't cost you a dime. So anyway, I appreciate those that used our link. Again, that's in the description of the video or at thewatchmannews.com right there. Let's see, I'll skip the Teespring stuff today. We also have a PayPal donate link that's in the description of the video, as well as at the Watchman News right there. When you click that, it just takes your PayPal donate page. You don't have to have a PayPal account. You can do so as a guest with a debit or a credit card. I always let people know that it says Transforming Disabilities up top. It also says Purpose, the Watchman News donation. That way you know you're in the right place. All right, done and done. Now, let's see how they, though, them, or they, those, them, are lying to us today. Okay, so currently, let me refresh to make sure. Oops. Yeah, see, it changed. It was 2,000 something. Now it's 1,668. Yeah, up and down. Up and down. I don't know. Maybe this, I know what it is. This system is so sophisticated that when a patient's heart stops, it automatically updates. And then they get the patient revived, and no, you don't think so? Oh. Well, I don't know. There's some reason the number keeps going up and down. It's can't be really explained many other ways. So that is what it is. But I told you we were going to stick with the same website from the beginning, and we have, and they've all been bunk. Right? They've all been bunk. And I look at others, but for the show, we said we were going to stick with the same one, right? All of them are doing it. Let's see. So yesterday, now that is a significant increase. New cases are saying 258,866. So yesterday, or the last 24 hours for fatal cases, they are saying 2,252. So for our little zip code here, our total confirmed cases is up to 1,571, which, again, that's over 10% of the population of our little town. That's kind of crazy. That is. It's really, seriously. Now, I know that it wasn't a boatload of those that had lost the battle, but still, that's kind of crazy. All right. We are at headlines. I'm out of coffee. Drag my tea over. Fun. Sorry, I just now seen the chat. That's hilarious, Mike. I probably do need quoted on that. Anyway. Let's see. All right. Starting out with Friday. 1 dead and 4 injured after semi-truck plows into Arizona home. Arizona home. I don't know why I thought I messed up. Serbia starts pumping cheaper Russian natural gas via Turk Stream pipeline. Thanks for support in difficult times. North Korea's Kim issues rare New Year letter. Empty streets versus jubilant crowds. Stark contrast between New York City and Wuhan on New Year's Eve provokes envy and accusations. And I'll tell you what, that is one bothersome thing, but the most bothersome thing about that was, in my opinion, the elitism. You know, I'm sorry, but I don't think there should have been, if everybody wasn't allowed there, I don't think anybody should have been allowed there. Other than maybe cameramen. I could see that. That's cool. Cameramen and maybe some reporters. I don't mean 100 of them. I mean like one from each affiliate or whatever. You know, so they could cover the ball and all that. But other than that, nobody else. Because man, that's BS. You know, I'm not saying don't do anything, but you know, you can televise it, you can drop the ball and all that. But, you know, couldn't the button have been somewhere else? You know what I mean? You really think that button's attached to it? It could be, but I don't think it is. I think there's a technician somewhere else that actually flips the switch when they see him push the damn thing down. I kind of really doubt that's actually hooked up, to be honest. Could be, but I doubt it. Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was tacky. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. Wall Street to ditch 3 Chinese telecom titans after Trump's blacklisting. Risky New Year. Plane narrowly avoids crash in Colombia after colluding with pyrotechnic balloon. Probably not a good idea. And remember, drones are the problem. Let's see. Portland police declare riot, claiming protesters hurled fire bombs during New Year's Eve unrest. And again, this is news from Friday. Russian-Asian path may benefit stability in Europe by forcing declining EU to deal with Moscow, as it is not as it wants it to be. Norway to lift UK travel ban, but will keep special quarantine and testing rules amid concerns over new COVID-19 strain. A silver lining of the crisis, white metal outshines gold amid best decade for precious metals. Spies near our skies. Russia reports more than 1,000 foreign reconnaissance flights near its borders over the course of 2020. Philippines to ban U.S. travelers as new coronavirus strain spreads. Party on. Patrol car torched. Try that again. Patrol car torched and 3 officers injured during chaotic 2,000-strong rave in France that police can't stop. See, right? I mean, they can party in France and get more accomplished than we have. Sorry, I'm just being honest. Let's see. Move over Hollywood. China overtook U.S. as world's biggest movie box office in 2020, set to keep the title permanently. Portugal promises fair, green, and digital COVID recovery for EU as it assumes European Council presidency. It can't get any worse. Russians say 2021 will be a better year in a new poll, although 1 in 4 anxious about the future. Russia looks to become leader in hydrogen tech. That's probably something we should have really... And I'm sure the government and the military has heavily developed hydrogen technology, no doubt in my mind. But, you know, if they do this, because I know they've got some sweet hydrogen technology. And if Russia does this, yeah... Man, I'll tell you what, that's definitely going to be a war. You know that? That's definitely going to be a war. Let's see. The show goes on. Despite rising COVID cases, Tokyo Olympic Games will go ahead in 2020, says the Japanese Prime Minister. Good luck with that. Welcome to the vaccine canteen. Brewing company tempts hipsters in for vaccinations with free beer. Yeah, seriously. Free beer. And this is in the UK. Independent Britain's first day. Let's see. Channel traffic smooth on French and UK sides as new post-Brexit era begins. Again, that was Friday. Pentagon sends aircraft carrier USS Nimitz home from the Middle East as anniversary of Soleimani killing looms. Okay, actually, I even shared this out. So, sorry I didn't catch that as I shared it out, that it was even said here. So, mandatory COVID-19 vaccines, ? Everything is on the table, says Dr. Fauci. I'm telling you, I've been telling you from the start of it that it was going to wind up mandatory. I continue to say that. It is. And we need to speak up now, and when I say that, not just to each other. That don't do no good. We got to speak up to them. They, those, them. Those scary people. We got to speak up to them. Get over it. Unless you want the vaccine. Make a choice now. Be a good idea. Let's see. Multiple Bunchwer, I don't know, vehicles extensively damaged during suspected arson attack in Leipzig. Crimean senator tells Zelensky, return Ukraine to Moscow, time to recall days before it became Europe's most backward country. Those are fighting words. Exceptional service, Washington Post journalists get $2,021 bonuses after insisting Americans don't need COVID-19 relief checks. Well, isn't that dandy? Hundreds of Israelis get infected with COVID-19 after receiving Pfizer BioNTech vaccine, says reports. New York mayor celebrates New Year in Times Square after telling everyone else to stay home. I mean, this is what I'm saying. A Senate votes to override Trump's veto of defense spending bill. Lockdown Londoners seethe after Mayor Khan politicizes taxpayer-funded New Year's fireworks with BLM and pro-EU agenda. Ukrainian nationalists and neo-Nazis staged torchlight march in Kiev to mark Nazi collaborators' birthday. Again, we're still on Friday's news. I told you there's a ton of news. Amid crisis and pandemic, Pelosi chooses to focus on new Congress rules that eliminate gendered terms. And unfortunately, they didn't eliminate her. Meaning from Speaker of the House, because, UK ex-doctors volunteering to help with COVID-19 vaccination blocked by mandatory diversity training and paperwork forced. A Nashville bomber's girlfriend told police he was building a bomb, but they called her crazy. Guess what? They didn't just call her crazy. They took her away in an ambulance for mandatory psychological evaluation. And they just said she was crazy. Hadn't we... That's like deja vu, isn't it? Like, for how many times now? Repetitive deja vu. Is that even a thing? Repetitive deja vu? Teachers union leader pushing against reopening schools because it's unsafe. Posts pics from Puerto Rico vacation. Let's see. Arizona woman beat kids for not wearing masks after they tested positive for COVID-19. We want everything. Pelosi's house defaced with cancel rent graffiti and pig's head left in the driveway. You know, isn't it a crime to do stuff like that with like effigies? The pig? Yeah. Doctor says he's disgusted by crowd shouting COVID is a hoax outside London hospital in viral Twitter post. A good cop indicted for leaking video of cop showing baton in man's mouth until he died. Shoving baton in man's mouth until he died. And that is insane. Yeah, the good cop got indicted because, yeah. That's why there is no such thing as good cops, because there are cops that do good things, but then they're no longer a cop. So it's kind of impossible. Kind of thing. See? You try, but GOP's claim that Facebook censored fundraiser rings hollow for conservatives after the Senate undercuts Trump's drive to curb big tech. Marine bomb prone to sudden explosion found on hull of Iraqi tanker as Iraq warns U.S. may use false flag attack to start war. Iran, warns the U.S. And when I saw this, I thought, here we go. So, but there hasn't been any booms that I'm aware of. U.S. court tosses lawsuit by Republicans to give Pence sole discretion to decide whether electoral votes to count on January 6th. A high school student needed help with tuition, so an unlikely group stepped up. Prison inmates. Now check this out. They got paid, at least according to the article, 8 cents an hour. 8 cents an hour. They raised $32,000. Yeah. I would say that there's a very, very high likelihood that we are electing the wrong people and imprisoning the wrong people. Perhaps, might I recommend that we take all the people we elected and exchange them with a lot of these fine people that are locked up for really stupid shit in prison, and we swap them. Because the only damn way you're going to fix the system is to put somebody in control that has been screwed by the system. Plain and simple. Trump lawyer and conservatives disown vocal pro-MAGA attorney, Lin Wood, after he says Pence may face firing squad for treason. By the way, we just started on Saturday's news. Hallelujah. Let's see. We don't need a world where China becomes another U.S. Beijing names conditions for improving relations with Washington. China to build over 600,000 new 5G stations in 2021. I need a vape. Hang on. And a sip of tea. Especially for this next headline. We got to talk. One more. I'll read you the headline, and then we'll discuss it. COVID camps ? Put disease carriers in detention centers, a proposed New York law suggests. Oh, it goes a lot deeper than that headline. Think FEMA camp. Seriously. This is not good, and this is not going to just stay in New York. Not a done deal in New York. Not yet. Could the FEMA camps be for those that refuse the vaccine? Because, they're certainly not going to lock up the sick people. Oh, wait, they already did, didn't they? Damn, I guess they're locking us all up, aren't they? Imagine that. U.S. airline loses to pass, and I've got later on. I do have a link that goes to this bill and that I did tweet out, so you know. But we've got to keep a close eye on this, because this is like a virus that will spread. Yeah, I know, wasn't very funny, was it? But it's fact. Fact. I think anybody that remotely has eyes to see and ears to hear can see this coming, along with mandatory vaccines. U.S. Airlines loses to pass $35 billion for turbulent 2020, over 40% of the financial toll suffered by the global industry. New year, new record. Bitcoin pushes past historic new milestone of $30,000. Goes higher than that. How convenient. Teachers union leader battles to keep schools closed while on vacation in the Caribbean. Isn't that amazing? Showstopper illegal rave in France that started on New Year's Eve is finally brought to an end. We can't even hold the ground in front of a state capitol building for very long. Think about that. Their party. Never mind. It's ridiculous. Assassinating foreign leaders is a U.S./Israeli trademark. Iran denies fake news alleging Rouhani's death threat against Trump. Let's see. Large blue UFO startles Hawaii residents while appearing to plunge into the ocean. Ukrainian pharma company applies to produce Sputnik 5 jab after emotional FM dubs Russian COVID vaccine a weapon of hybrid war. Russia's oil output plunges to the lowest in nearly a decade, whatever. Idea of exceptionalism. I just cannot speak tonight. Encouraged U.S. to quit treaties and make Americans think that they can ignore the rules, says the Russian Foreign Ministry. I am kind of tired. Beijing warns of retaliation over U.S. delisting of Chinese firms, which runs against market rules and logic. Let's see. Inoculation nepotism. Tennessee health workers give COVID-19 jab to friends after turning people away due to, quote-unquote, miscalculation. That's okay. You can give them my portion, Illinois. Give them somebody else. I don't care. Let's see. Beware of trap. Iranian FM warns Trump and Israeli agents are preparing attacks on the U.S. forces in Iraq to spark war against Tehran. Let's see. India approves AstraZeneca vaccine as company still working on jab's efficacy after disappointing trial results. Still on Saturday's news, by the way. Yeah, this is one of those. This is one of those things. I keep trying to say, man, we shouldn't do things to others. You know, weren't we told that, like in kindergarten, that we shouldn't do things to others that we wouldn't want done to ourselves? So, the headline is, and I hate to read this, God rapes young Middle Eastern migrant skit. It's a skit on Irish state TV, provokes Catholic Church fury. Now, you should know, hell, I don't even want to read that. That's how bad it hits me. man. What I see going on, especially like over in France and stuff, is absolutely disgusting to me. And you can't act that way and not expect the people that you're acting that way against to not act that way back. You can't. It's ridiculous to even think that. It's sad. It truly is. Relations between Russia and China at historic high after once-in-a-century epidemic, says Chinese foreign minister. Launch voter fraud commission or we won't certify election results, Ted Cruz and 10 other Republican senators say. Here's that bill that I was telling you about, the New York State Assembly bill. It's A416. Jeremy Corbyn's brother, Pierce, arrested at anti-lockdown protest for second time in 2 days. Still on Saturday's news. Like really jumped. There we go. No longer just an idea. With Trump on the way out and Biden on the way in, Portland mayor finally vows to push back against Antifa. Imagine that. At least 70 civilians killed in militant attacks in Niger, says reports. And you know what? I am going to be perma-pissed if that mayor isn't charged with some type of supporting insurrection stuff. Aren't we supposed to have things in place within our government to protect us from this amount of, I don't even know the proper word to call it. It's so disgusting. I just looked over again. I don't see the chat a whole lot often. Survive anything, yes, thank you. And I was trying to think of that when I was talking about it earlier, and I couldn't remember the name of it. Moleskin, yes, Moleskin, absolutely. And I'm going to be honest, I've got to get some. In fact, maybe I need to get on that and get on it, right? Because again, it's something else that it's not like buying a new car or nothing. It's not super expensive. But it's one of those things, if you don't have, and yeah, I don't even have any of that. And I have feet problems. So, yeah, I'm an idiot sometimes. But yeah, I'm going to get on that. I also had a incredible suggestion on the review video I did for the Ethan Go knife, the fixed blade. A gentleman had mentioned using like tennis racket tape to wrap it with instead of doing a paracord wrap. And I never did do a paracord wrap or anything. And yeah, that would work great. So that's the route I'm going to go with it. It's a great knife, and it actually feels great in my hand without adding anything to it. But my hands will fatigue pretty damn quick. And they'll start hurting pretty quick, especially if I have to hold on something that's kind of too small. So making that just a little bit bigger, I think that tennis racket tape's going to work out perfect. So that was an awesome recommendation. I thank the gentleman as well as recommend that idea to you guys too if you run into that. It would definitely. I feel much better about that than what I do paracord, because paracord can slide. And if you keep your knife good and sharp, man, it don't take much of nothing. Let's see. At least 70 civilians killed in militant attacks in Niger, says reports. I swear I read that one. McConnell and Pelosi homes vandalized after $2,000 relief bill fails. So I told you about Pelosi. Well, also McConnell's home got vandalized as well. I don't know if pigs' heads were involved or not. Former employee steals excavator, Ramsgate, and destroys 50 vans at Mercedes-Benz factory in Spain. So, yes, in Spain, they even have the killdozer spirit. America talk show legend Larry King hospitalized in Los Angeles after contracting COVID-19. Thought that was kind of a crazy headline. COVID police raid Canadian home and violently arrest occupants after neighbor tattles over illegal gathering of 6 people. 6 people. Arrest reported at anti-government protest outside Netanyahu's home as Israelis kick off 2021 with a weekly demo. COVID-19 pandemic caused by separate outbreaks around the world, China was only the first to report, says the Chinese foreign minister. Pence says he welcomes efforts by Senator Ted Cruz and others to object to certifying election results on January 6th, says a statement. Dallas police, we're to last night's news, so we're almost to today's. Dallas police rescinds memo for officers to ignore stolen vehicle, criminal mischief calls after it's leaked online. In fact, it's not just that. There is a whole list of calls, different calls that they were told to, ignore. Yeah. Nice, huh? Saudi Arabia lifts sweeping ban on international travel imposed over mutant COVID-19 variant. We're to today's news, by the way. Seditious Texas GOP officials suggest Mitt Romney should be guillotined for not supporting challenge to election certification. A record per hour Bitcoin set series of new all-time high, steadily on its way to $35,000. Yes, overtook Wall Street. That is mind-blowing. A deadly streak, 2 more French soldiers killed in Mali as Al-Qaeda claims responsibility for previous attack that left 3 dead. Spectator starts transatlantic media feud after crowning New York Times unreliable source over clickbait on UK vaccine mixing. Sip of tea and a vape. Fun. Fun Fignugan. Why not? Alright. WikiLeaks and Pamela Anderson make last-ditch pardon pleas ahead of judges ruling on Assange extradition to the U.S. That's something I certainly would like to see Trump make happen. British experts call for wealth tax as elite 1% owns quarter of the UK wealth. Israel rejects nonsense claim by Tehran that is plotting false flag attack to drag the U.S. and Iran into a war. Police in Wales stop anti-BLM football fans from protesting outside stadium as players freely continue to take a knee. It's Trump again, ? Americans confused on who to blame for the $2,000 stimulus checks flop, says a poll. I don't blame Trump. I can't blame Trump. for that. How could you? The only way you could blame Trump for that is if he was telling us that and then telling them just to give us $600. That would be the only way, that you could blame him. And I honestly don't think he was doing that. Bojo defies scientists to insist schools are safe and sends resign hashtag to top of Twitter trending charts. How gold, silver, and platinum are used in the battle against COVID-19 is an article on it. Let's see. Humans of the Great Reset, what the future might look like in 2021 if the controlling elites have their way. Another good article. When I say good, it's kind of freaky. Boris Johnson says he's reconciled to a tougher lockdown and thinks Brits are reconciled too. Very reassuring, India's drug regulator declares COVID jabs 110% safe in overzealous attempt to dispel impotency rumors. Feeling triggered? ? More than 1 in 3 Latvians feel urged to shoot fellow citizens who make life in the country worse. My question is, how far away from that is the United States? Yeah, this is crazy. 95-year-old California grandmother threatened with eviction for socially distanced chats with her granddaughter. Now, get this. I shared a quote from the article that says she came from communism, so she's afraid of any type of disruption like that. Okay, yeah, like 20 years or something like that, or whatever ago, is when she came to the United States from the Ukraine to escape communism. Yeah. Well, I know she had been at that apartment for 20 years. I can't remember for sure if it said 20 years she'd been in the country too, but I know she had been in that apartment 20 years. But yeah, she escaped communism to fall right back into the hands of it. Our referendums are not particularly jolly. PM Johnson says Scotland should be eligible for independence vote once in a generation. Norwegian company turns its back on Nord Stream 2 under threat of U.S. sanctions. That's what I was talking about earlier. When in doubt, call it COVID. Trump accuses CDC of inflating figures as U.S. passes 20 million coronavirus cases. Israel's millionth vaccinee injected in front of Netanyahu turns out to be an ex-con who served 14 years for manslaughter. Imagine that. My question is, was it a lie? And was it a lie? And they, that's the guy that they could get that would do that for a price and keep his mouth shut? Maybe. De-dollarization in overdrive. Russia and China boost settlements in national currencies to 25%. Harvard astronomer says alien technology visited in 2017 may have been distant civilizations' trash. So let's look at the bigger picture here. What they're saying is that Earth is the universe's landfill. Just saying. Border row reignites between Estonia and Russia as Baltic countries' top MP reopens World War II territorial claims, ignoring NATO objections. Ex-CIA congressman says disputing election results helps America's enemies steal elections, just what the CIA always did. Moscow finance staff now eligible for Russian Sputnik 5 COVID-19 jab in line behind doctors, teachers, and industrial workers. And lions, tigers, and bears, oh my. Trump supporters turn up the heat on Marco Rubio with protests outside his home and demand that he challenge Biden's electoral victory. A Texas pastor killed with his own gun after confronting a fugitive in a church bathroom. That happened in Winona, Texas. Yikes. Those are real numbers. Fauci clashes with Trump over COVID cases data as virus fuels political divide. Let's see. In calls leaked to the media, Trump pressures Georgia's Secretary of State to re-examine the election results and find votes to overturn Biden win. I don't think he meant illegitimately. I truly don't. Needling each other, Ukrainian politicians face off over rejection of Russian-made Sputnik 5 as country's COVID-19 crisis worsens. We're getting close. Biden should pick Obama as AG, paving the way for him to ascend later to Supreme Court Justice, a former White House lawyer says. I hope not. I hope not. Nancy Pelosi is reelected as U.S. House Speaker after AOC and other squad members swallow hard and avert giving the gavel to a Republican. Ex-House Speaker Paul Ryan takes heat from both sides after blasting GOP senators' effort to challenge Biden's victory. And lastly, this one I don't have up yet. Pope gets political on COVID-19 again and condemns those who traveled over the holidays despite the pandemic. So, there you have it. The start of the 2021 cluster. I'm not going to say it. I want to say it. I should say it. You say it for me. I know a lot of people were anxious to close out 2020. And like I've said, watch what you get all anxious for. Watch what you wish for. Because I don't think 2021 is going to be a bed of roses. No, I think those roses are long gone. I think about the only things left is twigs and thorns. And we're about to get raked over them. How bad is up to you. How bad is up to you. We can't stop them from doing it necessarily, most likely. But we can try to stay the hell out of the way the best we can and stay alive and keep our loved ones alive. Because really, truly, ain't that the most important thing? Aside from serving the Father, but keeping your loved ones alive, and that more important than keeping. If you were given the choice to keep Trump in office, I'm just saying, to keep Trump in office, but lose some of your loved ones, or keep your loved ones and let Biden take over, which would you choose? See what I mean? So focus on your loved ones, keeping them safe. Please. Please. I don't have a great feeling, nor does many people, about the 6th. 3 days away. And I don't have a good feeling, but at the same time, I'm not so sure anything's going to really get decided that day. Which, there again, could be the spark that ignites something. So, keep getting ready. Well, I'm going to be telling you every single day. Keep getting ready. That chin up. Even if you can just afford a 1-pound bag of northern beans. Put in the cart and keep that chin up. Next time you come to the store, maybe get some Spam or something to put with them. Right? Some rice. Do what you can. Keep that chin up. Anyway, I am out of here. It's been kind of a long show. Really. I mean, the headlines, that is. I hope everybody has a great evening. I do appreciate you being here. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow, and we hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit, and shalom.